This is a tutorial on how to play Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe. The board consists of a giant tic-tac-toe board. You can see the 9 large squares, and then within each one of those 9 squares is a smaller tic-tac-toe board. To start play, you're going to be on the smaller boards until a tic-tac-toe is made within one of those smaller boards. So if I were to be the, let's say I start, and the first player can play anywhere on the board, and if the O plays in the top right hand corner on this small board, then the X has to play in the top right hand corner of the large board and then play anywhere on this part. So if, let's say, X plays there, then O is going to have to play on the left side middle board, and maybe the O will play there, and so then X has to play here, and let's say X plays in that middle board. That means that O can play in this middle board. And you'll notice that it definitely is strategy. You have to use strategy when you're deciding where you're going to place your piece, because it will affect where the opponent plays their piece. All right, so in this next screen, you can see that I've made this O the last piece that was played. And so now the X has to play in that top right hand corner. Well, the O played here to stop a tic-tac-toe, but unfortunately they were unable to prevent this tic-tac-toe. And so that means that the X can put a large X to count that as a win for this box. Now what happens next is that you'll see that the top right hand smaller board is now no longer an option. So if, let's say that I know I'm probably not following where I'm supposed to play, but I just want to show you. So if O plays down here in this top right hand corner, the X cannot play on this board. And so anywhere where there's a big tic-tac-toe and an X or an O has been placed in that box, that board is no longer playable. And so the next player basically gets a free turn. And so because the O played here, that means that the X, because they can't play on this board, can play anywhere they want. And so that's, as the play goes on, then that's where the challenge comes in, because now the X has made another tic-tac-toe. And so again, the middle board now is off limits. If you play, and it looks to me like all the middle pieces have been played, so that won't really matter. All right, so on this board, I want to point out a draw, and I've made a circle around it. I'll take that off. And so does the O really need to waste a turn, or the X need to waste a turn to play on this board? No, because both players can see that that board is a draw. And so you can use the purple check marks just to kind of mark that board off, or just leave it blank, just depending on how your students want to play it. And so what happens is, let's say that that the X has played, and now it's the O's turn. X plays, let's say X plays down here for just to show you how to finish the game off. And so the O player is going to play in this bottom box, because that's where the X was. And so, and that definitely helps the O player, because now they have made a full tic-tac-toe, and that's how they win the game. Now you can change the rules if you don't want to do the rule where, you know, as you start, let's say that the X plays, you know, here, and then the O would have to play on this board. you could do away with that rule and just let the players play wherever they want. I think that would make the game go a little faster. So if you're limited on time, that might help. Um, and I think there's also a little bit of a level of challenge playing that way. But I also think there's a level of challenge when when both players are forced to play on a particular board. So uh, that that's the rules on how you play Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me at Acres of Learning. You can email me. And don't forget that you included with the digital version, you have a file that is actually a PNG that can be printed 2 feet by 3 feet at like Office Max or one of the other a printing store. And I printed mine out. It was only it was under $4 to print a 2 feet by 3 feet poster. And then you can laminate it and have that up in your room, or, keep it available for students to bring out, and then they can use vis-a-vis markers to play. Plus the PDF file that you could print out smaller paper versions that students can play, or they could play on their Chromebooks with the Google Slide version. So, like I said, if you have any questions, just email me and I will try to help you out.